Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm doing another fluid art creation on a smaller canvas. I've got all my paints lined up. They're already mixed with water and pouring medium. You can probably see an empty cup here, so you might already guess what technique I'm doing. But I'm going to take you down onto the table to see the canvas, to see my consistencies of my paint and the brands that I'm using. Remember, everything's listed in the description box below. So if you click expand, it will open up lots of information, including the paint brands that I'm using, my ratios and my consistencies. I don't keep anything secret. It's listed in every tutorial. And I'm going to show you the colours. I can't wait to do this one, and I'm so pleased you're here with me. Let's see what we can create. Okay, so as you can see, I'm using 5 colours, no black, no white. These are the 5 colours that I'm using, 4 from Amsterdam and 1 from Winsor and Newton. You can see I've got a Persian rose, a turquoise green. I'm using the ultramarine by Winsor and Newton, light gold by Amsterdam, and an olive green deep by Amsterdam. I've mixed them all up already. They are all in these cups here, and you can see the amount I've got in each cup. I've used 1 part paint, 1 part water, 3 parts pouring medium, and you can just see it's a slightly thicker consistency than when I do, say, a Dutch pour, where I just use a 1-to-1 ratio with my water and paint. So that's all of those mixed up. Here's my canvas. I'm using today a 12-inch by 10-inch canvas. I'm literally going to place the paints in the cup, 1 colour at a time, fill the cup up, and, well, let's just see what technique I do. Do you think it's going to be a straight pour or something like a ring pour? Drop them in the comments below. Let me know what you think before I start. So, my paints are ready. My canvas is on its stand. Let's go. So this part of the process is about placing the paints that I've mixed up into just 1 cup. So I'm going to take 1 colour at a time, place the paint in the cup, and build those layers up in the cup. Okay, that's more than enough paint for this canvas. So let me just show you a quick close-up of those paints. You can see all those layers in that cup. There we go, just there. And now I'm literally going to take the cup and pour the paint onto the canvas. Just slowly tipping the cup, tilting it to allow that paint to flow from the cup onto the canvas. And I'm just going to go back and forth in a slow motion, just to create some patterns, some lines in this puddle of paint before stretching it out across that full canvas area. I've decided to move the cup slightly, so as I tilt, I'm just going round and round, almost creating like a tornado effect. And then once that's tilted out, that's going to help create a different pattern on top. And as I come to the end of the paint, I'm just going to place the cup to one side. Don't worry about that line, because I can push that paint over the edges. I'm just going to pick up the canvas, I'm going to tilt it towards me and then away from me. And that's just spreading out some more of that paint. I'm going to place it down on my stands and I'm going to then tilt out the full canvas, spreading that paint to cover the full surface area. So the idea really is to really open those lines up. And when you're tilting your canvas and seeing that paint move across that surface area, and then you push some of that paint down the sides, I bring it back on itself. And that's to not only use the volume of paint that I've already got there, but it's also to look at the composition, the overall look of this piece, how those lines are opening up, the colours that are really coming into that forefront. And it's about just taking your time, there's no rush, just slowly tilt the paint, and then once you're happy, you can then place the canvas back on your stand. Okay, I'm happy with this, so let me take you in for a closer look at the wet version. And you can see some of those pink tones just subtly there along some of those lines with that green turquoise. I love this combination, and this kind of feels organic to me. This is definitely a nature-inspired piece because of the colour palette that I've chosen. But I'd love to know what you think. What do you see when you look at this piece? And I'd also love to know how it makes you feel. If you can drop those in the comments below, that would be fantastic. I love to read all your comments. And if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like, share it out if you can, because that really helps me reach new people across YouTube who might be interested in the style of art that I do and the channel that I've got. So a big thank you in advance for doing that. So that was the wet version, and this is the dry version. It's not changed too much. Some of those green tones are slightly darker, but what I would say, when you're pulling together a colour palette, just think about how those colours will look when they're dry. Sometimes colours can really change in terms of how deep and dark they look. So when you're using greens, I've learnt that sometimes greens do dry a lot darker than when they're wet. So when you're pulling that colour palette together, just take a moment to think about how it's going to look when it's wet compared to how it's going to look when it's dry. And you can always make this more glossy as a finish if you want to. I actually seal all of my canvases with a spray gloss varnish, and I opt for Winsor & Newton for that. And that just gives that shine and shimmer on top. Anyway, I hope you've had fun. I know I have. And I really hope I get to see you again in the next video. Take care, everyone, and have a great week. Bye.